Hello, my beautiful, beautiful rebels and questioners of authority. So today, this recording is actually going to be doing double duty. So I am I am unable to hold the live call for Embodied this Saturday on Lionsgate, which is August 8th. But this is the pre-recorded call that's replacing live call number 35. It's also acting as our weekly energy update. And at some point, this video is going to stop for those of you who are on YouTube and keep going for those of you who are watching this on Embodied. For those of you who are on YouTube, just know Embodied is completely free. It just takes signing up for a free account on my website to join, and you have access to everything that's happening, all of the resources, all of the previous pre-recorded or recorded live calls. And uh, today is going to be big and embodied. We're doing an activation. That's really going to help open you up to clarity, open you up to the path forward. Because this entire month of August, the overarching energetic theme is face your fears. And for those of you in Embodied who remember back in June where we had a week that was basically a face your fears week, what really came out of that is what we're most afraid of at our core is our own power. And because our own power is unknown, it is expansive, it is infinite, it has not been explored. It is the final frontier. Um, and that scares our small selves, our minds, our egos, our bodies. These physical bodies are capable of housing that power, but they've never done it before. And it takes some rewiring, some cellular awakening and activation to really embody and house your power within this body. And it can come with some growing pains, but the theme this week that we're facing as we're facing our fear, as we're facing our power, we're really taking that next step up is forge a new path. And I've been sitting with this for a little while this week. I feel like I finished last week's energy update and then immediately started sitting with this energy because this feels really big for me. So let's see. I'm gonna see if I can show you the runes. So I pulled a couple of runes and the interpretation, how they came into forge a new path. What I'm sharing with you is very much it's very much the energy and the message that came through for me that is not related to any traditional interpretation of these runes as far as I know. So for those of you who work with runes and like listen to this message and like, what? Those are not what those runes mean. To me, these runes were the picture. They were the picture that gave me this message. So let's see if I can get the camera to focus. So, and I'm pretty sure if we were looking at this rune as it's written, it would be like on its side that way, or maybe it's that way. I'm not sure. But this, and this is the mountain for as far as this week's reading is concerned. It's the mountain. So you can see the peak. And then the second rune. Let's see, will it show up? Maybe if I hold it down. No, that might. So it's, and again, I think the rune is actually like that if it's written, but think of it as this jagged mountain path. You're forging a new path, and it's not easy, and you don't know exactly where to go next. This isn't this isn't like a worn footpath. This isn't a paved trail or even a forged trail where people have gone before you. Where we're going now is where we've never been before. You've never been here before. I have never been here before. And we're all making our way up this mountaintop. We're facing our fears. We're reaching towards our power, bringing it back home, bringing it inside our bodies and learning how to embody it. But this is new. There's no map. There's no instruction manual. And everyone's path is different. So even if someone is proverbially further up the mountain than you are, that doesn't mean that the way they took up is your way also. Paths might criss and cross up this mountain. They may join for a few steps, but then there's going to be divergence. So it's really vital that you drop the comparison. I know I've spoken about this before. Comparison is the thief of joy. Almost all of us have heard that, but it's also the thief of healing. It's the thief of truly knowing yourself. And so this week is all about coming in to that activation, that awakening that allows you to gain the clarity to see the next step forward. And once you've taken that step, you'll see the next step and the next step. Think of, can't think of any specific example, but I feel like I've seen like fantasy cartoons or movies where some spirit or magical being is showing the way forward for the hero or heroine, and it's just a little bit at a time and a little bit at a time. And sometimes it's like the path brings you to a dead end and you can't figure out why. Why would it bring you to this sheer cliff face? Why would it bring you to this drop off? And it turns out that there's still a way forward. That sheer cliff face is an illusion. Just look to your left, there's stairs, or that rock wall isn't actually a rock wall. Or you have to take a step of faith out over the open expanse and trust that you're not going to fall. It's deeply challenging for us as humans in this 3D body, 3D planet, but we are shifting from 3D to 5D. This entire planet and our bodies with it. We are shifting. We are raising our frequency every single day. And the support is here. And when I sat with what is the supporting energy, of course, we're going up this mountain, this treacherous path. What better support energy for us than the mountain goat? So focusing on the mountain goat part, not just the goats we have on farms, right? I don't know if any of you have ever seen a mountain goat, or I even think like the bighorn sheep in Colorado, or even just pictures of them, and they're standing on this tiny rocky prominence on the side of a mountain, and you're like, how did they get up there? How are they going to get down? And they just traverse the terrain so naturally, so instinctually and intuitively and safely. It's incredible. They trust the mountain, they trust themselves, they trust the power. And watching them move and find a path where our eyes cannot comprehend a path is in itself a spiritual experience. And so I'm going to read to you the parts from this. And this is my Animal Spirits Guide book. And there are other ones I know, but this is the one I have. And well, there's other parts of this. These are the ones that really spoke to me. So be very discerning regarding your relationships, trusting your senses and intuition over your rational and logical mind. Right? I just talked about that. The goat isn't looking down and saying, oh my God, I'm up really high. Looking at how am I going to get up there? Or how am I going to get down? It's not working from its mind. It's trusting its instincts, its intuition, its own body and its own power. And it's trusting the mountain. It's trusting the divine that it is deeply connected to. And here's one that I really love. Stop butting your head against the wall, trying to get through to someone who isn't accessible. Like I said, this is the week where we are really called into our solo journey, our solo pilgrimage, if you will. And it doesn't mean that we're alone, but if you are still like, God, I just wish someone would do this with me, or God, I feel so alone, then it's time to really understand, really sit with your own soul and realize that your soul is always connected to everything and everyone and connected directly to God. So you are never truly alone. And also, if we're all ultimately one, we're always alone. So pick which one provides you maybe with the most comfort or the most insight there. But Oftentimes we're on this path, and I think of it as the born again Christian thing where we come with this awakening and it feels so good. And we got some incredible insights, and we just want to share with the people we love the most, or sometimes anyone and everyone that we come across. Oh my God, have you tried the spiritual awakening thing? You should totally try it. It's amazing. It's going to change your entire life. Everyone's on their own journey. They're going to come to it when they're ready, and they're going to come to it probably from a very different place that you're coming to it from. You can't drag people up the mountain with you. They have to go of their own volition. The longer you keep trying to bring others with you, excuse me, the longer it's going to take for you to get up the mountain and for you to get the clarity to see the next step, because you are butting your head up against the wall and it's not going to move. All right. You cannot change people's minds or hearts. They have to do that themselves. So, especially if you've already presented the information or the opportunity, just lay it there and walk away and continue your own journey. There are certainly people in my life where they aren't out of my life, but this is not the stuff we talk about. This is not the stuff we relate on. And that's okay. They're doing their own thing. And honestly, the longer I go, the further up that mountain I climb, the more I can see where those people who are still in my life, who haven't just kind of disappeared from my life as I go up this proverbial mountain, the more I see how they're growing and how they're starting to move up the mountain in their own way. And for some of these people, it's very subtle, and I can see that they're moving up it. But if I were to talk to them about it, if I were to talk to them like I'm talking to you and share openly about this energy or spiritual stuff, they'd be like, that is super woo-woo and weird, and no, thank you. There are going to be people moving up this mountain that do not use the same language, that do not approach it or think about it. They're just going to do it. And when they get to the top, it's going to be the most natural thing in the world for them to be there, and for you guys to be talking like they've always known this stuff. And you're going to be like, nope, I've been trying to tell you, you wouldn't listen. You thought I was crazy or into really weird stuff. And then we're like, I didn't. It's, but whatever it is, whoever it is that pops in your head, when I tell you to stop trying to get through to people who are inaccessible, stop it. You can do this completely on your own with no other people who understand the language or what you're going through. I've done it for a long time. And the more I do it, the more I come across people who get it and who I can talk with about it. But there's still a certain level of things I've noticed that even those people who are very awakened or whatever, they still don't understand, because again, it's a very deeply personal, individual journey. This is not a group activity. This is not a group hike up the mountain. All right. This is not a guided tour. Solo mission time. All right. Hmm. And that being said, ask for the support you need in spite of any fear of being vulnerable. There will always be people placed in our lives or other types of resources. So one of the resources could be just calling on the mountain goat energy or calling on your inner wisdom or calling on your spirit guides. Whatever, there will always be little resources along the way. I think of like, I haven't played a lot of video games, but I feel like a lot of them, if you have to like make your way through a level or something, like you make it to certain checkpoints, and there's like a little life pack or a weapon or a heart or whatever it is. And there will always be these little resources, these supports available to you whenever and wherever you need them. The biggest thing is you have to ask for the support. You could be staring it in the face until you ask. You aren't going to receive it because that asking opens you up energetically to receiving that support. So the support is always here, but you do have to ask. And you have to ask even if it makes you feel vulnerable. In fact, that's kind of the point. Because one of that is the fear of vulnerability, right? We're facing our fears this month. We're going to keep facing them after this month is done. But you have to be willing to ask. Just like I say in a lot of videos or calls, I'm here. I'm here to support you. But you do have to ask for that support. And if you join embodied and you're looking in the resources, then you just kind of ask the energy, what's the resource I need in embodied today? And if you want the one-on-one support, I'm here for that. But you got to ask. You got to book the discovery call or the session. I'm not just gonna give it without you asking because if you're not open to it, you're not gonna actually get anything out of it. And it's gonna end up more frustrating for you in the end, right? Have you ever been offered something and you're like, okay, fine, I'll take it. And you end up kind of, it just doesn't sit right. Like, man, why did I do that? I really wasn't into that. I didn't, now I just feel kind of like, ugh. Yeah, because the asking is part of the key that unlocks the receptivity inside your entire body and energy field. All right. Keep moving forward step by step toward whatever goal you're after, trusting that you'll be able to climb over any obstacles and knowing that if you slip, you'll always land on your feet. Mountain goats don't not fall sometimes, but they do land on their feet. They do get back up again, and they don't then take that as a lesson of never climb the mountain. Never trust yourself again, never trust the mountain again. That is not what they get from that, right? So often in this world, what we take as lessons, they're not meant, they're not meant to be that lesson. We misinterpret so much, and it's because of this illusion of suffering and fear and disconnection. Just because you fall, just because you fail, just because you reach a hard spot in your life doesn't mean that the lesson is you did it wrong and you shouldn't do that ever again, or that you can't trust yourself, your soul, or the energy. There's something else there. And sometimes that hardness, that failure, that that fall is meant to actually provide a boost in that availability of support, that love, because maybe you were doing great, you were going up the mountain, and maybe you got too much in your head. And the universe, the divine God, your soul, whatever you want to call it, was like, ooh, we can't keep going up this mountain if they're in their head. Because if they're in their head, it literally dead ends. So let's bring them back down. Let's let's do a little gut check here so we can get back into here, right? Last one. And this one, talk about great supporting practice for you this entire month, not just this week, but this entire month. It is critical that you spend time outdoors and immerse yourself in nature. When I read that and really sat with it even again this morning, I'm like, I really want to go out in nature. I really do. And my husband is more about let's go out and golf. That's in nature. And I'm like, kind of, yes. I need more of the wild. But what I've actually found myself doing a lot in the last couple weeks on the golf course when we're golfing and I'm just in a spot where like we're waiting to be able to tee off or putt or whatever it is based on whatever's going on around us. I have just laid down on the ground, spread eagle, and just let nature support me. Just let the earth support me. Just felt the grass and the energetic softness of the earth rising up to just meet my body and refresh me and renew me. The more time you can spend in nature, especially with yourself and not with earbuds in, but listening to nature, feeling nature, smelling it. I guess potentially even tasting it if you know what you're tasting. Be smart about that one. All right. I'm not advocating that you go and just put random things in your mouth. Okay. All right. But if you're a bit of a forager and you know what is safe, absolutely do some wild foraging where it's permitted and where it's not going to detract from the resources of the land. Spend that time in nature. Really let yourself grow. And I really want to share this picture that is uh, the picture that I used for the theme this month. Just as this one really spoke to me, y'all. And granted, this is of a mountain path, and you can see the steps going up here to the top. But this is where we're going. We're going to this mountaintop where you are just under and part of the very sky, the Milky Way, the galaxy, the universe, where you just meet and are drawn up and become one with your power, with the expansiveness, with the infinite possibilities and the infinite nature of you. The biggest thing is this path. It's going to look different for everyone. And you might not see even this far ahead of you where to go. All right. You might not get this much path before you. It might just be one step. So for those of you who are watching this update on YouTube, thanks for hanging with me for this long. You got a taste of kind of a little more depth than what I might always go into on the weekly updates that I post here on YouTube, because this is also an embodied, pre-recorded call. But this is kind of where the video ends for you on YouTube. If you want the activation, if you want to gain that clarity, that support to see the next step up that mountain, then join me in Embodied. Find this video. It's going to be the pre-recorded live call number 35. And it'll be dated, what's the date? August 8th. So 8/8 for Lionsgate. Like, this is a deeply powerful portal that opens each year. I guess it never really closes, but the alignment to access this portal really comes right in line with us right now. And that's why we're facing our fears and facing our power. That's why we're going to go into this deep activation. So again, I invite you to join me for free in Embodied to continue this journey with me as we go into this activation.